You got your lunch? You got it ready? Got something to drink? You got something to write some ideas down? You're watching what's about to start, and it is a live, weekly, recorded webinar called Power Lunch that happens every week, Thursdays at noon Eastern Time. And every week we're going to cover one specific targeted issue related to your brand or your business. The way I talk about this webinar is that it's a bite-sized branding and business webinar for people who have an appetite but also want to have time to eat. And you can't sit here for an hour. I know that. You know that. So we're waiting for people to get going. I just want to dive in. Since this is being recorded, you can watch it, catch up later. The question I want to ask you is this: who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? That is a frightening question. And that is one of the biggest reasons why you don't brand yourself the way you could or the way that you should. Because you believe, oh my God, who do I think I am doing that? I mean, there's so many other people who do this already, right? There's so many other people. Oh, the world doesn't need another PR person, another marketing person. I should just quit while I'm ahead. That's what I thought when I was 21. When I graduated from college with honors, with a grant for the student most likely to pursue a career in writing. I had everything behind me, a solid education, opportunities, and I did zero. Talk about creating a brand. I couldn't even get a job. I couldn't even go for a job because I thought I really wanted to write professionally. I wanted to do that. I mean, in my dream of dreams, I would work for a magazine, but I thought, and this is really the thought of a kind of a depressed person. I thought, what would be the point? What would be the point in doing it? Because so many other people could do it. And if I could go back in time and strangle myself, or at least give myself a good shot upside the head, I would do that. Because this thinking has held me back personally way longer than it should have. Way longer. And it's holding you back, and I see it in you. Because I coach you, or I may coach you, or I have coached you. I've coached many, many dozens of people in part of my business, which is coaching people to speak in the media and to take their brand out into the world. But even if I could tell you, and I can tell you how to present your brand to the world, really hard to do when you don't believe that thing. You're not willing to be that thing or risk that thing. That is very scary. It's the reason why people don't do it. That is it. It's not the economy. It's not on my website. I don't have a new website up. Forget website. Yes, of course you need a good website. You obviously are going to need a website. If you have a business, you're going to need a social media, some kind of footprint, even if it's just a tiptoe. You have to do that thing. But I can't tell you how many people say, oh yeah, well now we have the new website up. Well, I just launched a new website. The day the website goes up is not the day you have business coming in. It's not just about putting your shingle out there, right? It's about actually taking the risk and doing a thing and sharing a thing that you think someone might need. Now there's good things. There are real reasons why, because you could make a mistake, right? You're afraid. What if I do a thing and create a brand that then no one wants? Well, that's not what a great brand is. A great brand is formed on something that other people. Okay, I'm going to answer that question. It's a good one. Why do other people need this? Now, Skip Foster just said he paused a project because you were scared no one would buy it. Well, if you're not sure if anyone would want it, look, everyone has that fear of what if I do a thing and no one wants it? But if you've done your homework, you know a problem you're solving before you go to do it. If you're not sure if your product is good or your service really meets the needs of someone, then maybe you shouldn't be worried. And that worry might make you to refine it and do it even better. But there's a difference between a product and a service and what's behind that thing. What is the promise? What is the thing that you're going to do for someone? So let's just start here. I want you to think about this. I want you to identify the thing you fear most. What are you most afraid someone will do or say? Is it that they don't like it, they don't buy it, they think you're full of shit, they think it's a waste of time? What is that thing you're really afraid of? You got to say it. For me, it was that no one would be interested in me, and that I had to be more interesting, that I would somehow be boring, or that I wouldn't be able to keep up, that everyone would be smarter than me. That was another fear I had. Oh, everyone will be smarter and better, and so what's the point? That's not true, and I wish someone had told me when I was 25 that the world is not as smart as you think it is. It really isn't. There are a lot of great people. Guess what? You learn from them. You don't not do it because of that. So you identify the fear. Write it down. Say it yourself. You don't have to tell other people. You're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. Someone else is already doing it. I could never make a living from this. You have to say it and get it out there so that at least it's there. Then the question is, what is really at risk? Hello in France. Nice of you to join us late in your day. What do you feel would be at risk? Now, the voice of when you put your branding hat on is, oh, well, I'm afraid I'll limit myself. I'm afraid I will, I'll cut out my customer base. I'll do the thing I really care about. No one will want it. The sweet spot and that Venn diagram of where your sweet spot is and where you can make the most money is the thing that most people need, or the thing that people need most from you. Now, what about some of the external reasons you might give? What are you afraid of? Fear of a shrinking market. Oh, there's not enough people doing this, or Apple came along and you blame a big brand. You say, well, there's this big brand, so no one needs it anymore. Big brands are great. They're kind of big mile markers. People know them, their points of reference. It doesn't mean there's no room for small business. Hardly. It doesn't mean there's no room for you. Here's another question for you to ask yourself. Are you thinking like an expert consultant, or are you thinking of yourself as a cog in someone else's wheel? You might be a great cog. You might be the best cog ever. But is that it? Is that all you're going to do? Now, the challenge, and this is something I've learned from my work with 2 Market Media, from the people that I really respect and I've learned a lot from there, is that if you don't think or act like an expert in your area, then no one believes you. Now, there's a difference, though, talking about your expertise and demonstrating expertise. So if you say, well, I did this, I did that, that's in your past. Okay, that's good. That's part of your cred. But are you actually, and let me tell you the difference. Expertise is based on what you've done, but expertise is very much about what is your take on where the industry is right now, your industry. What is your take on what you do and what other people like you do? If you're I'm picking a random thing I know nothing about. So let's say, okay, we're talking about a window cleaner. Like, I'm a window cleaner. There's a lot of other window cleaners. All right, well, how do other window cleaners do it? Well, they hit people up once a quarter and they ask to clean their windows. Okay, that's that model. That's how that one works. What could you do that's different? Maybe you're a different kind of, what do you hate about that? Well, there's a lot of time in between and most people don't need their windows cleaned all the time. Well, is there another way? I mean, this is standard business 101, right? Is there another thing that you would do? Maybe it's that they pay for the year, but you go and clean whenever they want instead of having to book every new appointment. I don't know anything from window cleaning. Did you see what I'm saying? If your service meets that need, and also you are being the industry expert because you're like, this is how other people do it, and I don't agree with this or that. Find a thing, maybe an ad, maybe yes, maybe you will add a service, but maybe more importantly, you figure out a way to do what someone else isn't doing. But again, the whole point of me bringing this up was to act like and be the expert. And to be the expert, you have to know what you think about what other people do. I've been a writer and a content producer and provider for a long time. First in my role as a magazine editor, and then after that for businesses of all stripes. And I know with good content, I look at something in a second, I know what it is. And here's my problem with XYZ content. It tends to do this when you need to do that. And then it sets me up to be the one who can do that, to solve that problem. But maybe you're a little afraid. No, I know you are. That you're afraid that, like, well, I don't know everything, and maybe I should go back to school, and maybe I should learn more. You should always be studying and always becoming more informed and better about your field and what you do. But the idea that you have to do X, Y, Z, you have to cover this much more before you can be the expert, it's not true. Not unless you're a doctor or a dentist and you're about to pull my tooth out. Yes, I would like to have you have finished dental school before you go yanking teeth out of my head. But if you're doing what you're doing, which I'm assuming there are no dentists with me right now, that this is, I think I lost people. Hang on a second. By the way, taking your questions. Oh my goodness. All right, Mar, I'm on it. Your question. Someone had a question over here on Periscope. I'm broadcasting in two places at once. That's why I'm like looking away. My question would be how to 10x and expand, which I do every day now when working alone without what? Well, I'll tell you right now, even before you finish that sentence, without drowning under, yes. Well, this is a business strategy question, right? How do you grow? And a lot of people think that, well, there's a limit to where I can grow because it's just me and I can't do anything more. If you like putting a limit on what you can earn, great. You don't mind that? The whole appeal to me of working for myself and working as a solopreneur, an entrepreneur like you do, like many of you do, is that you don't have a limit, that you can do, that you don't even have to, yes, that's Silas in the background, that you don't have to have an entire staff and do that. But the fact is, there's got to be stuff, I mean, you've heard this before, there's got to be stuff that you can let go of and automate and, as they say, scale. Now, let's talk about the psychology of this, right? It's scary. You think, well, no, everyone needs me. There's this kind of the mother-baby relationship to the business. Oh, no, the baby needs me. Oh, it can only survive with me, the mom. And the mom's like, oh, no, it can't have a babysitter because it's really, I am so the life and blood of this baby that like no one else can take care of it. That mentality will mean that you as a mother never, ever get away, ever. And that's not okay. So that's that challenge. I want you to look at the fear though. The fear is I'll drown if I take on more work. If you want to stay small and you want to hover and just do what you can handle yourself, you will be limited. I don't think that's how Grant would say to 10X. You have to assemble a team. Does that mean you have to somehow come up with payroll for 4 people out of nowhere? No. I don't have any employees. I have plenty of contractors though and vendors, people that I rely on and who I cultivate to take on certain tasks. And you say, well, they don't know how. That's the training part. And yeah, that takes time. That's what he called time or money. You got to invest both if you're going to grow your business. And in order to get a really big business, now if I said to you, you have to spend, to get real big business, you have to spend about $15,000 on Facebook ads right now. Give me $15,000. Well, you're going to freak out. You're going to be like, I don't have $15,000. I don't have that to give you. But I'll tell you, there's a woman I'm working with, I have gotten to know a little bit, who did that. She spent around $15,000 on Facebook ads, not all at once. She grossed about $1 million in sales. $1 million in sales in 1 year. Now, if you go immediately spend $15,000 on your ads, does that mean you're going to make $1 million? I don't think it's a 1 + 1 = 2 situation. But she studied and she worked on it and she learned how to do it and then she did it. You know, you got to check her out. I'll give her a shout out for sure. There's nothing private about what I just said. Her name is Kimra Luna, Kimraluna. She's very impressive. Oh, are you kidding? I mean, in her first info product that she launched, she made over $100,000, I believe. I don't think I'm speaking out of school there. She targeted using Facebook ads and made almost $1 million in sales. Now, she also provided the content. She does have expertise. You can't just buy ads for stuff and trick people and give you money. That's not good. This woman, I'll add this, which makes her story so fascinating. 3 years ago, she didn't even own a computer, had never used one. Didn't have any Twitter account, didn't know how to post pictures to Facebook. She had no idea. She used her tax return to buy a computer, gave herself a freaking PhD using online education. I mean, PhD, not a traditional PhD, but she studied for like a year. She did nothing but watch Creative Live seminars. She watched YouTube things, read blogs. When I tell you she grossed almost $1 million in sales. And why? Because she was willing to step out as her brand. Now, she's a bold little thing. If you see her, she just doesn't look like anyone else. She's got blue hair. She's a punk rocker, basically. That's her, and that's a brave move. Now, I bet you've had a computer a lot longer, and you've been doing this stuff for a while, and still that fear. And I said to her, how do you get so brave? How do you get so brave that you get to do that? And other people, like, don't ever maybe make that money. And she said, I try not to think too much about it. She just does it. That's what she does. She tries to get people to stop thinking. That's hard for me. I do everything. think about everything. So do you, right? But acting instead of thinking, because thinking ain't your friend. It is not. So the answer to your question, Frenchie, right? You're the one in France. You do have to figure out, how can you let go? Now, interesting. Sabrina just said, well, does she have children? I got to ask you, why do you ask that? Why do you ask if she has kids? Do you have kids? I'm asking. We're waiting on a Periscope response. Sabrina? Okay, so tell me why do you wonder if she has kids? Exactly. Because and I don't know you, Sabrina, so forgive me for going on a limb here, but I'm assuming you're going to say, oh, she must not have kids if she did it. Is that what you're thinking? The reason I asked that is because I was at an event the other day with Laura Vanderkam was speaking. And she was talking about how she knows how people do it. She actually have her book right here. I'm going to topple over this whole thing, but I'll show it to you. I heard this woman speak. I like her a lot, actually. I know how she does it, Laura Vanderkam, and she talks about how people, how do women do it who have everything? You know, kids and work, whatever. And the first thing is someone raising and said, do you have kids? I have a problem with that because I assume it means that you think other people have more time than you. And as you know, we all have the same amount of time that we're given. I'll tell you what, Laura Vanderkam has 4 children. Kimra Luna has 3 children, including a 15-week-old baby. She has a tiny little baby and 2 kids, 0 education, 0. No money to speak of. She was on food stamps 3 years ago. She was on welfare. So I love her because she just, it's more fuel to the fire. I mean, I don't have kids. Do you think it could fit kids in this apartment? No. So people say, oh yeah, you have all this time, blah, blah. Nah, I think that's kind of unfair to say. But I will say this. Of course you're busy. You have lives, you have obligations, you have friends, relationships, you have lots of stuff going on. But if you say you're busy, I don't believe you. I believe that if I live in the middle of Manhattan, if I said to you, get in a car and come to Manhattan right now, and you were like out in an outer borough, you'd be like, oh, I can't, I'm so busy, it's hard. If I said, come to Manhattan, I'll give you $1 million, you would get your ass in that car so fast. And you would get here because it would become a priority. So this busy thing, I'm over it. I want you to be over it. I'm not meaning to denigrate or say that what you do is not important or parenting is not important. Of course, you know, I don't think that's true. Yes, kids will fuel you, and you will. Kim's the best example. You can do it, but you have to stop feeding yourself bullshit lies that you don't have time. Of course, you have some time. It's about how you're using that time. I believe it's fear. It'd be really easy for me to hang up and go and look at my email and just spend all day on the email and spend all day on other stuff. That'd be a waste of my time. The question is, how do you attract clients for content writing instead of putting a lot of work to get clients? Well, that's the same thing. I mean, a lot of that work is ongoing. I think it's tough when you boil a pot of water. You put water on the stove and then you turn on. You go, why isn't it getting hot? God, it's so hard to get water hot. It's taking forever. Oh my God, this water is taking forever. That's not how you grow a business. That's not how you grow a network. You have to have it at a low simmer all the time. You have to have it simmering. So I don't wait until I have no clients left and then go, oh my God, I better go find more clients. I use Acuity, which is a scheduling tool, and I have a link that I give to people who want to talk about possibly doing business together, and those are set slots on my calendar that I have available for the purpose of business development, which isn't always, they don't always end up with contracts. They don't always turn into things that pay. It doesn't matter. It may down the line. So I invest some of my time each week to talk to people who are interested. Thank you, Sabrina. But yes, you are always in the business of finding. If you wait to do marketing until your business is starting to go down, it is too late. And again, there's that fear. We're bumping up against it again. The fear of branding. Well, I have to go out and find people. What if no one wants me? You have to find out, as they say, pain points. You have to be like an acupuncturist. You feel around for what someone needs, and then you are the needle that conducts all of this energy into their problem area. That's what I do. I'm forever talking to people. Have more conversations. Doesn't mean just throwing out a newsletter, hey, hire me. Like, you got to give people a reason. You must give people a reason. So how do I get work for that? I continually push out work. One way I do it is I do blog for myself and other people. And those blogs don't pay me money. They don't. So a lot of people say, don't blog, it's a waste of money. You should do a book, blah, blah, blah. Okay, maybe. But some of those blogs bring people into my world and they learn about me, or they go, oh, I like her writing, or I like that voice. I get all kinds of little pop-up opportunities all the time because I'm continually pushing pushing stuff out to them. Yes, finding new clients in advance. You're basically trying to find clients now. You're always in the business. And that 10X question, how do I 10X? I mean, I'm not even as aggressive as Grant is. Grant Cardone, of course, he's like, get on the phone, da, da, da. Yes, there's plenty of room for even me to grow in that area. So I feel you, because I've been a solopreneur and working on my own for 3 years. And I'm learning to do that too. But even I have started to, and I noticed it when I was doing my taxes, I noticed how much more I spent on my own vendors and my own investment this year. And it's a lot more, and it's going to be a lot more this year. And you think, oh no, I'm spending a lot of money. And it's like, no, you're investing. You're investing in order to get people. You can't just do a lot more work and put nothing out, no effort out, right? Blogging must be strategic. And this should probably be a whole other topic, by the way, for a different Power Lunch to talk about strategy, because blogging, just blogging for anyone and everything with no purpose is like throwing just sheets to the wind, like throwing things out into the world. And you can't just do that. You know, you wouldn't throw a picture at your wall and hope it sticks there. You put in a nail right where you want it, and you hang the picture there. That's how your content strategy would be. Would content strategy be interesting to you as a topic? It sounds like it would be. And I think we got to get into that next time. But are there any other, okay, let me make sure I covered the stuff I want to give you to think about. I want you to stop looking at it as being busy and start looking at it as what is a priority. Sometimes I'll stop in the middle of my, you want to hear about investing? Yes. Sometimes I'll stop in the middle of my day and go, wait. What am I doing right now? What's important? What's going to pay the bills? What's going to bring in stuff? Good. I'm glad this is helpful. But wait, there was another question. This is the problem with Periscope. It's like these questions are popping up and I'm like, wait. Investment in your business. Look, I'm sure there's a formula out there of what percentage of your business you should be spending on your business. That's not my jam. Like, I don't know. I don't have that number for you. But I'm telling you that there has to be something. And when you're afraid to spend money on your business, that is a psychological hang up. That is a block. The whole idea is, and you don't go spending money you don't have necessarily unless you can spend someone else's money. And that's the idea of getting other people's money. But I'm always looking at ways to support people on what they need. Like, how can I help this person? How can I help that person? Excuse me. How can I help this person or that person? How can what I do be of service to them so that I always have income? You turn on all the taps. If I know and I can quantify how much more money I'm getting for this contract or this job, then I make a mental note, which is not as good as a spreadsheet, I know. But what can I afford? Can I afford to pay to have someone do this much? You have to do it. I see too many solopreneurs dying a slow death as they cling to whatever money they have and whatever jobs they have, and they do it all themselves. And they say, well, I'd love to look for new clients, but I have no time. I'm so busy with the clients I have. Yeah, but you're not making the money you want to make. You have to be able to expand. I'm doing that the same way too. I have to limit time on certain things and maximize it by paying someone to do it. It's worth it to pay someone else to help me get done what I need to get done so I can serve more people. It doesn't mean I let go of clients. It doesn't mean I vanish on them. I'm very present to the people I support. But there has to be some level of investment and trust. And it's not the investment you're having a problem with. I bet you it's trust, because it all comes down to that fear of insecurity and trust in hiring someone else. What tasks? Bookkeeping, taxes, support with social media. Now, I have support for my social media. I also do a lot of it myself, but I make sure someone else is filling in all of the, more of it. So it's not just like, oh, I forgot to tweet today. I never forget to tweet because I have someone I'm paying to do that. I also have someone helping me develop content for different clients. I'm hiring people for all kinds of stuff. And in fact, when I see someone who's really cool, I'll be like, how could I work with them? I try to figure out ways to work with people that I like. I work with designers, freelancers, web people, all kinds of people. I want the best of what someone else can do so that I can give my best to someone else. That is the goal. And that is our time. It's 12:25. Yes, pride is very dangerous in wanting to do everything yourself. Oh, no one can do it as good as me. I need to be the one to do it. Maybe, and yes, yeah, your clients are paying because they want you. You can't just pawn them off totally. But there has to be a way for you to do what you do well and not do everything. And that's fear. That is fear. It's not busy. It's not no money. It's not. If something were worth it and you believed your business was worth it, you would do it. So start putting your money where your mouth is and put your time in your wallet. Start looking at that time as something that you're going to spend and invest really wisely and well. The goal is to not do everything without spending any money. I just don't believe that. Now, I'm a spender, though. As anyone who knows me will tell you. Yes, you've got to train people. You've got to empower them. And know, like, there's a fear, too. Well, I don't want them to get so good that they'll be better than me or that they leave me. Forget this clinging. No one's going to leave you. If you provide a really great working opportunity environment, you pay them fairly. Where are they going? Nowhere. But that fear will drive people away. And that clinging and emotional resistance is your biggest enemy. Amen. End of sermon. Now, oh my God, I forgot to tell you. Tomorrow is Friday, July 10th. And I have a few seats left for a live workshop I'm doing here in New York City at the Wix Lounge, 9 a.m. till noon. And it's great for you if you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, a whateverpreneur. You manage a brand, you're working a brand, you're starting a new business, but you need to know what it is that you're doing. And I'm going to help you change the way you think about your brand. That's happening tomorrow. You can find more out about that at territrespicio.com. There are a few seats left. It's not online, it's in person. It's an actual in-person event. So if you can get to New York City within a reasonable amount of time, you'd have to be there by 9 a.m. I would love to do a Boston event. Find me a place. I'll come. I should find a place, actually. Maybe I'll outsource that to you. I am happy to take this show on the road. And I have a workshop. Let me tell you what the name of the workshop is. It's called Nail Your Brand and Revitalize Your Business. And I do something. Now, my background is Masters of Fine Arts, creative writing, right? Like that's my backward. Have you worked with bloggers and helped them with branding? Yes, absolutely I have, and I can. I work with experts of every stripe. The problem with a blogger is that they see themselves as a blogger. You're not a window cleaner. You gotta be doing something bigger than just blogging. That's the brand, that's the question. But the workshop tomorrow, I would love to come to France. In fact, I have a friend who's going to France in September, and I was looking for reasons to go. So if anyone in Paris wants me to come. The workshop will be 3 hours. Okay, well, you won't be coming, but we'll be here every Thursday at noon. So bring your questions, email me or tweet me. Tell me what you want covered. I already kind of know what you want covered, but I'd love to hear your response. Yes, I'd happily go to Paris. Go to territrespicio.com for information about the workshop, share it, and I'm going to help you think about your brand in a completely new way. Janet, how do I get in touch with you? Yeah, let's all go to France. Tweet me or hit me up on my site and through the contact form, and we'll talk about that, okay? Thank you guys so much. 12:29, time to go something to eat. I'm craving a little sushi, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks so much for coming. And this will be a roving webinar. We will have it hopefully on my site eventually so that it'll be easy to find. Talk to you later.